Welcome to I Feel You, the podcast with your host, Dwayne Washington. I was born and raised with my family, my mom, my daddy Ronnie, my other daddy Dwayne, and my brother Quincy. I grew up in the 90s and 2000s surrounded by nothing but friends and family in the tight-knit community of Cartersville, Georgia. After graduation, I attended Savannah State University where I loved to party and experiment with a lot of drugs. I was even homeless for a point in time in my life. But that was then, and this is now. I'm growing and evolving into a better person each and every day. And with that, I would like to say welcome to Season 2 of I Feel You, the podcast.
What's going on? This is Dwayne here with I Feel You, the podcast. And today's special guest is DJ Johnnie Dynamite.
Yes,
DJ Johnnie Dynamite has graced the turntables throughout the Southeast for the better part of 15 years. He has been featured on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the Braxtons, and Little Women Atlanta as a DJ. He has played several of Atlanta's finest night spots, including Opera, Capture Lounge, Museum Bar, MJQ Concourse, and he has also been part of some of the city's most iconic events, including the One Music Fest in 2015 and 2016, and All Vinyl Everything. And he currently holds a weekly residency at the very upscale iLounge Atlanta in East Atlanta Village. He is the founder of Vinyl and Vibes, and as you can see, I have the Vinyl and Vibes merch,
Yes, sir.
and located in East Atlanta Village. And as the founder of Vinyl and Vibes, that's an event where he brings in the top DJs from the South, and they get to showcase their skills. And he's also added different elements with live artists. He has vendors there and everything. And he also co-hosts Dining in the Crates with DJ Lady Marauder at Rock Steady. And that's the newest thing. So if you want to go enjoy a great meal and then hear some classic vinyl and get your dance on afterwards or during, this is the place to go. Dining in the Crates at Rock Steady. And I present to some, I don't know how it goes, but I'm messing up here. I present to some, but we got DJ Johnnie Dynamite here.
Hey,
How's
man.
it going, John?
Man, super duper honored, and it's a pleasure, man. Been knowing Dwayne for a good little minute. We actually, we had this gig together, and that was real cool, man. And we met there,
Right.
and I always thought dude was a good guy, man. So yeah, man, it's an honor, man, to be asked to do this with you, brother. You read down the list of my accomplishments and accolades, and man, it's crazy because when I hear it, it's like, I feel honored and blessed, man. Some people say I'm too humble, but I feel honored and blessed. But to hear that, man, I'm like, wow, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Right.
I just be honest with you, man. Like, I can still to this day, and my wife can probably say it too, still to this day, man, like I remember, just real quick, I remember starting DJing when I was 16 years old, 14, 15, 16, and coming here to Atlanta, going to school, and then within the last several years, I remember like dreaming of doing some of the things and being on some of the stages that I've been able to be on. And to hear the fact that I've done that is very reassuring, man. So I definitely appreciate that, bro. For real.
Oh, man, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Yeah, like John said, man, we met at a job a couple of years ago or whatever. And I was like, man, because he's walking around, I was like, who is this dude? He was tatted up, but he was cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me go holler at him. He's like, man, I'm a DJ. And I was like, DJ, word? Because I love DJing. I love turntablism. I used to work at a radio station.
Okay.
And there was a guy named DJ Vicious. DJ Vicious, I think he won the World DJ Championships back in the day or whatever. Right. And so I used to watch. I used to watch DJ Vicious, when he did his daily mixes or whatever, and just be amazed or whatever. So, yeah, I've always loved turntablism and collecting vinyl. I have a vinyl collection myself.
Indeed.
And all right, so if you could just, how did you? So you started at the age you said about, I guess, between 14 and 16. Now, if you were like me, I used to get out the school bus and like run straight into the house just so I could watch Rap City and you're on TV rap. So is that what start your introduction into
I mean,
hip hop?
actually, yeah. But all right. So let me preface it. I'm gonna try not to be too long
Okay.
winded, but let me preface it by saying this. So it really started when I think about it. It sounds like such a generic story that everybody uses, but it's so true. In
Right.
Chicago, in Chicago, my family,
Mm-hmm.
especially my mother, they was cool with like a lot of the cool people in the neighborhood. So my
Right.
mom used to have these blue light in the basement parties
Oh,
where,
for real?
yeah, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was like 9, 10 years old, and like my cousins would come over. It was 5 of them, and like they used to be like, go upstairs. You know what I'm saying? And like
Right.
the way the house was made, like you could sneak down and look. And I remember me and my cousins like trying not to fall, like looking to see what's going on down there with the, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember seeing my uncle like playing music and people slow dragging and grinding and just having a good time. And people was smoking. I was like, man, them cigarettes smell good, but it was actually other type of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, wow, that's so great. But like while my cousins in there was looking at like what people was wearing and the energy, I was looking at my uncle.
Right.
He was DJing, and I was just like, man, he's controlling the whole. I remember he would play like some OJ's like last night me and my baby cried
Right.
together. He'll play that and then he'll switch it up and play like some Parliament and everybody be going crazy. So, you know, that's like 9 or 10. So then I think when I was 12 years old, my uncle ended up moving in with us. He had just got divorced. He moved in with us and he moved into the basement and had a huge record collection. And I remember Public Enemy had a song, Fight the Power.
Oh man.
Right. So back then, you know, I used to go to the record store all the time with my buddy, and they used to sell what's called cassette singles. You probably remember. It used to be a
Yeah.
cassette with one song on it, but it'd be
Right.
like versions. So I had my BMX bike, and I used to play Fight the Power all the time, right? Bumping it. And one day, my uncle, he was washing his car, and he was like, God rest his soul. He was like, "What's that you listening to?" And I was like, man, that's Public Enemy. You don't know nothing about that. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Just, you don't know
Right.
nothing about it. He was like, man, that sounds like trash. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, it's PE. It's PE, you know. So then, you know, so he's like, come here. He's like, come here. Put my bike up, and we're in the basement. And he went in this big, all right, so he had this record crate, and it was like a seat. And he
Right.
pulled the seat up, and it was full of records, right? Heavy, big, you know what I'm saying? Like a bench. And so
Right.
he's going through it, and he's like, "You like that PE, huh?" And he went and he had a stack of James Brown records, and he pulled them out, and he pulled one out, and he was like, "Yo, listen to this." Right? He put that James Brown record on, and I want to say it was like Get a Drummer Son. That's the one it was. And I was like, "Ooh." He's like, "You hear
Right.
what you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's the same song." I said, "Man, they copy PE."
Why?
He was like, PE just came out. These boys did this back in the 70s. And I was like,
Wow. Yeah.
what? So then, you know, he was like, yo, go get your tape. So I had this tape case, his Case Logic. And I'm just coming down there and I'm playing my tapes because he had like a component system. And I'm playing my tapes. And he's like, hold up. Go in his crate. Bam. Put this record on. And then what really blew my mind, Kwame had a song. And he went in his crate and he pulled out a record with a white man on the front of it, smiling with some glasses. Like, I was like, Bob James
Right.
played me the joint, the
Right.
record with the ladybug on it. And I was
Right.
like, yo, I was blown away. At that point in time, I learned sampling because
Right.
that's what he was showing me how records are sampled. So it was then that records had already took over. So then fast forward a little bit.
Right.
I think I was, like 14. And my mom was still having these blue lights in the basement parties. And I started to mess with my uncle's turntables all the time. And so one day, I'll never forget it. It was my mom's birthday, which is October 30th. And she was like, I'm having a party. And she was like, I want you to come downstairs and DJ my party. She told me this ahead of time. So I was like, oh no, like, yes. You know what I'm saying? So boom. I went to the little record store, bought me a couple of records. She gave me like $40, but $40 you could buy like 8 records. They was like $5 a piece.
Right.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Iron my polka dot shirt. I still got a picture too. I got to show you that. And I'm down there and I'm just spinning, man. I'm playing, and like I told you, I had learned sampling. So like, I'm not just playing hip hop, but I'm playing like Isley's. I'm playing like Patti LaBelle. I'm playing all of that Emotions. I'm playing all of that, and like the older folks is digging what I'm doing. But
Right.
So then it got to a point, it was probably like 11:15. She was like, okay, that's it. I was like, that's it. I'm just getting warmed up. She's like, no. This is grown folks time. You got to go upstairs.
Right.
So that was my first time actually DJing. And when I did that for the neighborhood, a lot of the neighborhood people, because we all knew each other, they would be like, man, you did such a good job, this, that, and everything else. And next thing I know, I was doing like little small birthdays, nothing real major,
Right.
I ain't even have a mixer, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a tape deck and a record player. So I'm just going between the two, just bringing the volumes up and down. I'm not even truly mixing. There's no blending going on.
Right.
The music. And it was at that point I just had to do it, man. I just had to do it. So come get accepted to college, and before then I had gotten some silly stuff in Chicago, man. It was crazy, but I got into a big fight, man, and this sounded like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's so funny. But I got into a big fight, and my mother thought that I was gonna be, killed or whatever. It was real silly. So before I went to Morehouse, she sent me to Mississippi to live with my grandfather, Gulfport, Mississippi. And I had to, we had to go right away. So I asked her to mail me my DJ equipment, and she mailed it to me, but she didn't know how to package it correctly. And it was all broke up. By the time it got there, it was all broke up. Whatever. So I was ended up going to college. And in college, I was still heavily into the DJ thing, but I didn't get a chance to DJ because I didn't have my equipment. But I was always into the culture. And that's pretty much how it started, man. And then so when I got out of college, I bought like this thing called a DJ in a box. You could buy them back in the day. It came with 2 turntables, a mix, crappy speakers, crappy headphones. It was like $200 made by a company called Newmark. I bought it and I told myself, I said, I'm going to practice and get my skills up. In about a year's time, I'm going to try to get back out here. And then, back then it was before you could DJ with computers like with Serato like you do now. Now, I have always loved records from my uncle showing me that back in the day with the PE and the James Brown. So I had a few, but I'm straight out of college. I don't got no money. So one of my buddies, his name is DJ Scorpio. He had worked for B103 at the time, and he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, this is what you do," because this is back when Atlanta like had Face Records, So Def,
right.
This was the music. It's still the music hub, but this was back when Freaknik was crazy. I'm talking about 97, you know what I'm saying? 96.
Right.
He was like, yo, call these record companies, ask to speak to the marketing department, and tell them that you're a DJ at all of these clubs and just make up some names. They don't care. They're going to get your address. They're going to mail you some records. So I said, okay. I called the Face. I'll never forget, the guy was like, so where do you DJ? And I was like, man, I'm here. He was like, yo, I DJ there. You ain't there. Hung up on me.
Oh, God. You know what I'm
saying?
Right.
So I called back a week later. I got him again. He didn't realize who I was. You know what I'm saying? I changed everything up. He's like, all right, what's your address? Gave him my address. A week later, I had got Usher's Can You Get With It? It was his first single, a couple of TLC records and all. I was like, damn, it's that easy. They sent me like 20 records.
Right.
So I called back. I called not Bad Boy, So Def. And, just a couple of other like Big Oomp, all these places. And they sent me records. So I was like, cool. So at the time I was working at MCI, I said I'm not going to be long-winded, but I'm almost done. At the time I was working.
No, keep going, man. I don't know if you're a great storyteller. Now this is, hey, I love it.
Right. So then I was working at MCI up in Alpharetta.
Right.
Off of Exit 11 as customer service, and it was crazy, man, because they did a batch hiring, and you know what happens when they do that? Like you get they hired a whole bunch of us, and we was all maybe between the ages of 21 and 25, bro.
Right. So it's wild.
All working customer service up here.
Right.
They was paying us $18 an hour back in like freaking in 2000. So that was a little piece of change.
Right.
Bro. I mean, bro, like it was crazy, man. Like I ain't gonna go into the crazy stuff, but call center life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I was DJing and I was like, making little mixtapes, whatever, mix CDs, and I was handing them out to people, just little stuff. So
Right.
they had a Christmas party. Club Vision had just opened. They had a Christmas party where MCI rented out the whole Club Vision for
Wow.
company to go. But
Right.
get this. Now I told you we was between 20 and 25.
Right.
They had an open bar. and 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 it was during the daytime during working hours. So they had buses that took us from MCI to Vision for this party and then brought us back to MCI so you could go home.
But y'all were slizzard.
Bro. You know how HR departments be talking about sexual harassment and
Right.
bruh.
I get it.
Bruh. Grinding. Oh my God. So anyway, I bring up the vision part because the DJ was cool, but I'll be honest,
Right.
if the liquor wasn't there, he would have been terrible, right?
Right.
So, like, a week later or whatever, they had sent out this survey, like, how was the Christmas party and all this and everything else. And everybody said that. It was just like the DJ wasn't good and it said everything else. One of my buddies was like, yo, I gave them folks your CD, bro. And I was like, what?
Okay.
I was like, why you do that? He was like, cuz man, you had that shit lit. Like that damn, whatever.
Right.
The next year, they were gonna hire me for the Christmas party.
Okay.
But by then, MCI was in merger process and Bernie Eberstein. It was a whole MCI was going down.
Right. Gotcha.
Right. So they said it was a conflict of interest, and they said they weren't going to hire me. And then they said on top of that, we don't have a budget to do a Christmas party this year. So here, y'all take this little gift bag and be good.
Right.
But my homeboy that had gave him the CD, he had already been like, because he wanted to be a promoter. Like this dude, like knew all the girls. He threw parties at his apartment where police had to come. He was like, yo, I'm finna. So South Beach opened up on Roswell Road. I'll never forget. He was an African dude. South Beach opened up on Roswell Road, and he was like, yo, I'm finna go ahead and rent it out. You know what I'm saying? And back then, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of clubs in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Because Atlanta was such a popping city. A lot of clubs in Atlanta would be like, okay, can you get people here?
Right.
This was Roswell Road. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? They outskirts of the city, so they hungry. He was like, yeah, I get people here. And he was African too, so it wasn't none for him to do that. Because one thing these African promoters, they got followings. So he was like, yo, Johnny, I want you to DJ at South Beach for my party. Dude made flyers, got professional flyers done. Like he was handing them out all over the city and all this. Now, mind you, I had just got my DJ in the box set up maybe 8 months ago. And I said I was going to give myself a year.
Right.
Maybe done a couple of parties for cats at work. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. People enjoyed what I did. But this was going to be a club.
Right.
So the first night we did it, and I still got the flyers downstairs. The first night we did it, we packed it out. It was stupid packed. And I remember back then, this is before computer DJing now. So you CDs or using records, like, and me, I had records because I couldn't afford, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had So I rocked the party. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? It was cool, but then it was funny because you know what I'm saying, like I played, like the club opened at 9 and closed at 2. So I played, but probably about 12:30, I'm like repeating records. I'm playing the thing. You know what I'm saying? But I kept it going, like I kept it rocking. And so the owner at the time of South Beach was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Let me get your information, whatever. He's like, let me get a business card. I didn't have business cards at the time. Coached me up on that, told me how to get business cards and all of that. And then so it just so happened that the owner of South Beach ended up, he was a partner at another club off in Southwest Atlanta. And he told his partner about me. And I went there one night or a couple nights and, did this and this and this. And anyway, MCI fails down. By this time, I'm doing okay with the DJing, but I'm working at Hewlett Packard too, customer service 9 to 5.
Right.
And then my big break happened. And that's when a friend of mine that was at MCI with me, his name is Luciano, he had hit me up. He was like, yo, me and my homies, we throwing a big ass barbecue over at Exchange Park in Cater. And he was like, we would love for you to come in today. So I'll never forget. I had to go to like buy like I went and bought some bigger speakers because it's a park. I remember I Youth Highway Flea Market, man, bought big speakers and all this, and went out there, and it was a beautiful day, man. It was a beautiful day, and I knew Lucha knew a lot of people. I mean, this dude was like Mr. Decatur, like, you know.
Right.
So we get out there, I get the plane, and I look up an hour into the party. It's cool, but it's not crazy.
Right.
2 hours in, 3 hours in, about 3.5 hours in, Lucci come running over to me. He was like, "Yo, DeKalb County coming," and I was like, "Why?" And I see people running and throwing their liquor and everything. He was like,
Right.
because if you know how Exchange Park is Glenwood, and you get off that H, you make a right Exchange Park right there off of 20. He said we
Right.
had traffic backed up on the 20, and they wanted to know
Dang.
what the hell was going on at the park, bro. DeKalb County came over there like I wasn't about to run my equipment out here.
Right. Right.
They walk up to me. They was like, "Yo, you got a permit?" I was like, "No." They was like, "Well, whose party is this?" I was like, "I don't know." You know what I'm saying? They was like, "Well, where they at?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, clear it up right now." So, you know what I'm saying? They go get in their car. They drove off. Luke came back. He said, "Turn the music back on." He was like, "No more traffic. Came back over here, bro. We rocked that, bro." And I honestly, to this day, I thank Lucci because that party, even though
Right.
that got my name out in the city, man. Because after that, I was doing strip clubs here. I was doing,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It was everything because that barbecue, they had the dope boys out there. They had the business dudes out there. They
Mm-hmm.
had some of the, what you would call, the internet creators. What do they call them?
I guess content creators, whatever.
Influencers.
Influencers. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So they, you know what I'm saying? But this is back in the mid 90s, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not mid 2000s. So, you know, all of that happened. And then after that, man, it went crazy, man. And you know what I'm saying? I
Wow.
just stayed with it. And still to this day, man, I'll be honest with you, I'm blessed to say that I'm one of the DJs, because I know a lot of DJs, but I'm one of the DJs in this city where I get gigs and I don't really promote myself. I kind of let what I do promote me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I've
Right.
done hundreds of weddings, and the weddings I've done have been driven directly off of them seeing me at some other event, or them seeing me at this club, or
Right.
one music fest, like you said, Bonnaroo. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that. So that's where it stems from, man. So that's how it really got started. You know what I'm saying? Just a whim and just being dedicated to a dream.
Right. Right. Man. Man. That's one hell of a story. Man, you had me drawn in. I'm like, what? I mean, because it has so many twists and turns. I'm
Yeah, man.
like,
That's been this life, man. It's crazy, man. That's been this life, bro. It's been wild, man.
all right. So, okay. So, I know you have some of your ventures you have going on. You have vinyl and vibes. If you could
Right.
just talk a little bit about vinyl and vibes and dining in the crates.
Okay.
All right. And
Okay. So Vinyl and Vibes is before we go into that, let me give a big shout out to DJ DiBiase
mm-hmm.
and Sean Fallion. Those are honestly my I guess you can say my sensei. Excuse that, that's
Right.
my son in the back. But those are like my sensei to this thing because they have an event called All Vinyl Everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I they brought me there one time. And this is only like the best of the best DJs. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Period. So they brought me there on that, and I remember they used to put me on an early set when nobody was there, and I worked my way down to being the mainstay. So I give a
Right.
shout out to them because me seeing them doing that party where it was basically strictly vinyl only, no Serato, um, impressed me enough to want me to do my own thing. So even before I started Vinyl and Vibes, I reached out to them like, "Hey, bro, I'm about to do this. You know, I just want y'all blessing. I want y'all to not think I'm copying what y'all doing or whatever." And they gave me their blessing.
Right.
But Vinyl and Vibes, like you asked, Vinyl and Vibes is that's like my baby. I'm a
Right.
big vinyl person. So what Vinyl and Vibes is, it's not just a party where people playing vinyl records. That's cool. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just a party where I got dope DJs coming because I mean I done had DJ Toomp here, which is if you know who DJ Toomp is, you know who DJ
Right.
Toomp is. If you like anything Ti, he's pretty much produced all of Ti's records. He's a multi-platinum producer DJ. I've had Mel Star here, which is he travels the world DJing.
Right.
So JC, but Vinyl and Vibes basically is where I wanted to bring out my friends, which are those people,
Mm-hmm.
to come and play vinyl records, but also to incorporate the whole digital DJing thing. Because yes, I do use computer. You know what I'm saying? For a vast majority of my gigs, I do a lot with vinyl, but I do use a computer because that vinyl breaks your back, bro. For 20 years, I've been picking up crates of records. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. So, and then also with the digital thing, like, some DJs speak against it and all of that. And this also goes back to the story with my uncle. How my uncle was like, man, that's trash you listening to and all this, that, and everything else, but then brought me in to understand what he was saying and not that he was dissing what I was into. So that's what I'm doing. I put Serato there because if you notice, if you ever been to a Vinyl Vibes event, and you've been, we got the main stage where the cats are spinning vinyl, but then, in between them, we got young up and coming DJs over here in the corner on the Serato that's playing Serato. And what that does is it puts a JC, a Applejack, a DJ Shakim, who is a DJ for Belle Biv DeVoe, and travels with them. It puts them in the same room as a younger DJ or somebody that's just starting out in the city. So what ends up happening is when JC is just sitting there, he can't help but listen to this guy.
Right.
It's not forced. And then you in a cool setting. So JC, he's by looking through records and he's having a drink. He's talking to his DJ friends and he hears this young guy and he's like, damn, this guy's good.
Right.
So then what happens is conversation happens and they get to talking and then they get to talking shop. And then next thing you know, like my homeboy DJ Blue, who's a Serato DJ, he gets to know JC. JC starts giving him lessons and he gets his own vinyl collection.
Right.
And
so it's mixing the cultures.
Yes, and it makes the culture grow, and it makes it not die. It doesn't die out with the older cats. So that's what the whole idea of Vinyl and Vibes is, and it's a free event. We do it once a month. We usually take a break in the fall and winter time. We come back in December. We're gonna come back in December this year. I'm gonna let you know a date. I don't have one yet, but it's going to be near Christmas, but not right too close to Christmas. I know people travel, but what we do then is we do that to, have a toy drive, for the youth and all of that. But that's what Vinyl and Vibes is, and we do it in East Atlanta at iLounge. Now, as far as Dining in the Crates, Dining in the Crates was created by an influencer. His name is Atlanta Food Guy.
Okay.
If you follow him on Instagram, and just like it says, Atlanta Food Guy. Okay. My buddy. His name is Chris, and he is one of these guys that goes around to restaurants, tastes food, and all of that, and has a humongous following. Every time he posts, it's like 8,000 likes and what I'm saying, 20,000 views. But he hit me up because he was like, "Yo, I want to do this thing where we go around to these restaurants and y'all play vinyl records and create a vibe, but it also helps these restaurants out because it bolsters their business." Him and Lady Marauder was doing it for a little while, and then so he brought me on because how did it happen? He brought me on because he came to a Vinyl and Vibes. He did not know I played, but he came to a Vinyl and Vibes, liked it because he was actually doing a food review for somebody I had catering the event. She was a big time chef. So we talked. Lady Marauder asked me to fill in for her one time for him at this one place, and I went and did it. He loved what I did, and he was just like, "Yo, I gotta have both of y'all." Right. So Lady Marauder, she's also an amazing DJ, and it's crazy. I know some people that's like, Lady Marauder's father owned the first black record store in the entire state of Georgia.
Wow. Okay.
It was called Pyramid Music, and it was in Savannah, Georgia. Not Savannah. I'm sorry, Augusta, Georgia. And she has pictures right now with James Brown as a youth. Like James Brown calls her like his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she DJs now, but you know what I'm saying? We do it. It's called Dining in the Crates. We go to these restaurants. We've been to Palm 78. Just like you said, we did Rocksteady. We've done that twice so far. But we go to different restaurants. It's not just Rocksteady.
Okay. All right. So I thought it was one restaurant.
No. Yeah, but it's all good. But the thing is, if you follow Dining in the Crates, you'll see where we're at. And we always promote it big. Or if you follow me at its_Dynamite FM, you'll see because I post it all the time. So like next Friday, we're going to be in Alpharetta at this place called Egg Roll Boys. It's a black-owned business, just started up, and we're going to come out there and we're going to play. So we usually play from 6 to 10, and we have specials, we do raffles and all of that. But the main thing, we sell vinyl, but the main thing is, we just want to create an atmosphere, and that's what Dining in the Crates is. And if you look at the Dining in the Crates on Instagram, you'll see it's I've been hearing people saying they don't dance in clubs no more, and you know, people standing on
Right.
the wall. And man, you come to Dining in the Crates, you might see a phone or two, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying, it's
It's
people have.
actual dancing.
Oh yeah,
Right,
oh yeah,
right,
and
right,
it's
right.
not,
So,
and there's no sections and all of this. Like everybody is on equal playing field. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It ain't no hookahs, it ain't no bottle service, and no, man, you at a restaurant. Just imagine going to a nice restaurant, got some good
Hmm.
food, and you got people playing like Prince in the background. I want to be your lover,
Right. You
man.
can't help but to start singing. Why? You
Yeah,
know.
man. Yeah, man. And another thing too, another misconception some people have is, oh, this is for couples and groups. No, we got singles that come out that sit at the bar and eat and end up leaving with somebody. You know what I'm saying? If
Right,
that's what you wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
And then what's even better is we grown folks. So this thing is from 6 to 10. So you know what that means? You still got time to go home and
Right,
enjoy your evening and get
right.
up and go do what you gotta
Go to
do.
work.
There you go.
Yep.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. So I guess a question for you. So it seems like this has been a long journey, man. How did you stay disciplined, throughout this journey, because I'm sure, and everyone, we all have dreams and, that type of thing. And within those dreams, you fall into pitfalls and things happen. How did you stay disciplined to say, I'm going to pursue this and keep going when you could have went a million other ways and done other things?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The reason why I continue to do it is because it is my therapy. Um,
Gotcha.
it's always been my therapy.
Okay.
Like I said, when I came out of college, I was working MCI. I don't work Hewlett Packard. Different companies. The company
Right.
that me and you worked at. You know what I'm saying? I worked at AT&T as a technician for over 5 years, where I was basically the guy that came to your house and ran lines to your business or to your home to hook
Right.
up your cable or your internet service. So, physically demanding job. I mean, that, and then the stress of just everyday stress. Some people, I don't know if I could say it, but some people smoke weed, you know what I'm saying, to get
Right.
over stress. Some people drink, some people, go out, some people play, some people gamble, whatever they
Right.
do, some people work out. For me, it was always the music. I know you earlier was talking about, running home to watch Rap City and all of that.
Right.
And, I did that, but to be honest with you, Dwayne, man, I didn't even have a TV in my bedroom until I was 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
had turntables and records since I was like 10. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that would become, you know what I'm saying? Unless I want to go downstairs and watch TV, with the family.
Right.
My entertainment personally by myself was music. So it's
Right.
always been therapy for me. So anytime I was going through something crazy, I could always look forward to, I got this party coming up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And then that's why I could show my ass. So that's what's really kept me dedicated. And then also, I like to go out and, I like to party and all of that stuff, but I can't dance a lick. so, I had to find some way to be influenced of the party, and then also to speak back to what I said earlier when I saw my uncle and how he controlled that room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's always been something that's drawn me in. It's always drawn me in, DJing and the whole. Like, I worked at a radio station too as a board op, a gospel radio station, WIGO, for about 2 years.
Right.
And I mean, I remember being up there and just being able to control the room. Like, I'm working at the radio station and DJing at night in the club playing ratchet music. I was DJing at Club Nicky's, a strip club in Atlanta that's no longer open. So I mean, imagine that. I'm playing religious music all day and then
Right.
coming and playing twerk music for these naked women at night. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was Mayor Bill Campbell out there. And, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
When Atlanta was just straight on some weird, you know what I'm saying? Atlanta
Well,
was lit. You know what I'm
the
saying?
old school Stewart Avenue.
Oh my good. See, you already know what it is, bro. You know what it is. So,
Yeah.
and I'm DJing at this gospel station, and I'm trying to make them have some funky stuff going on too. Like, man, so it's all just the creativity behind it. Anything creative has always grabbed my attention, but music has always grabbed me to the point to where I cannot leave it alone. Even
Okay.
when I want to leave it alone, I can't. But I'll tell you a quick nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Most people will be like, so what do you listen to on a regular? I don't. If that's one of your questions, tell me. I won't answer it now.
Well, you go ahead, because
Okay.
that's what I was leaning into. I was leaning more into, because I noticed like I follow you on Instagram and everything, and you're more into the older. You're digging in the crates. You're finding these gems
Right.
and things that
Right.
no one, obscure stuff that no one has heard of. It's like
Right.
I would have never thought. So yeah.
I listen to a lot of Brazilian music. I listen to a lot of like you said, breaks and rare grooves. I like that stuff. What I was alluding to is this though, because my wife always laughs about it. She says,
Gotcha.
you are a DJ, but she was like, you never, ever, ever really listen to music in the car. And I don't.
For real? Okay.
I listen to sports talk radio, man. I listen to sports talk radio in the car. I listen to podcasts. I don't really listen to music in the car. A lot of times when I'm doing that, be it that music has become, it's an occupation, but it's a passion.
Right.
I have to have a certain setting for me to truly enjoy it. Like I can't enjoy
Gotcha.
it if I'm riding in the car. Like sometimes I can, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
especially radio, I
You hear
can't.
the same thing over and over and over again. Right.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. And then I tried to do the satellite, and the satellite radio was cool, but then it starts to become redundant too. Like you start to hear the same
Right.
thing instead of every 30 minutes, it's every hour and a half, and you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So but yeah, I listen to a lot of stuff, man. But it's a lot of stuff like gets away from me too, and I end up catching it on the back end, and I catch it on the back end because it's either a remake or a sample of something else. Let me give you the perfect example. This girl they got out now, Sexy Red, right?
Right.
I don't really have anything bad to say. I'll just say that I'm not her audience. So,
Right. I feel you.
right. But I will say this. I play in a club where I'm gonna have some 20 somethings that want to hear that.
Right.
Only reason I found out about Sexy Red is because one of her songs is a sample of another song that I truly enjoy and love.
Gotcha.
So it just so happened that I was just like, oh, that goes with that, and that makes sense. And then like for instance, I just put out there her song "Ski Yee" or whatever.
Right.
It lays perfectly on a song by Monica that I love called "So Gone Over You."
Right. I know what you're talking about. Right.
I did that in the club, man, and so it was funny because I played it, and so all the young people going crazy because it's coming on. They got to build up to it, and then right at the build up, I dropped in the Monica and had her rapping over Monica's background.
Right.
Man, the older folks in that club went nuts. You know what I'm saying? And what was crazy is the younger people, they ain't really understand it, but then they was just like, oh, that's grooving. Oh, okay.
Right. It hit them slowly.
Yeah,
Right.
man. My ear is different, man. You know what I'm saying? And
I got you.
I think that's what, you know what I'm saying, keeps me out here motivated too, is that my ear is different. You know what I'm saying? Like I just hear stuff different, man. I walk down the street, I walk my dog, I hear certain things and it sounds rhythmic and it's just
Right.
automatic for me. Yeah.
All right. So I know you like to collect vinyl. So I guess let's. What is one of the rarest items or your most cherished item, piece of vinyl that you purchased?
It's so many, bro. But I gotta say, oh, that's a great question, man. Because I feel like even though they're inanimate objects, they all are like my children.
Right.
You know. Uh okay, I have a record called Mr. Hoagie's Carmichael Express.
What? Okay.
And so if you were to look at the cover,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a whole bunch of doodles. It looks something like you would have seen on public broadcasting back in the day on Sesame Street or something.
Right.
But it's funky as hell. I mean, incredible funky from front to back. You know what I'm saying? So that's a prized possession. And then another one, it just came up when I said Sesame Street. A record I've been looking for a long time. You remember on Sesame Street where they had that song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the pinball song. Okay. So that has never been pressed to vinyl. And see, that's another thing too. I like to find stuff that's very rare. So it was never pressed to vinyl. I would just so happen to one night while I was just downstairs listening to music, because that's what I do. I'll put on a song and just get on my computer and do stuff, and that's the way I could really hear it.
Right.
I found out going down the rabbit hole that it was recorded by the Pointer Sisters, and that's all I needed. Because then I was like, I'm gonna find it, and found out that there was a bootleg record of him made back in the day overseas with the Pointer Singers singing that song, right? I
Wow.
had to find it. So I actually found it, and I had it sent to me from Ireland. I don't want to say how much I spent on it because I just said my wife still cussing me out to this day.
Right, right.
But I got that record, man, and it's on the cover. It has Cookie Monster on the cover, and it says "The Pinball Number Song" by the Pointer Sisters. And it's funny because I still research it now, and you cannot find that record. I think I have one of maybe 100 copies worldwide of that
Wow.
record. Yeah, so that's another
Okay,
classic.
then.
Mhm.
All right. All right. So, being that you're a DJ, who are your top 5 DJs?
Woo, boy, you got some questions for me today. Let me put the disclaimer on it.
Okay.
Any of my DJ friends that's watching this, please don't take this no kind of way. But we're gonna give it to you. Top 5. We're gonna start at number 5. All right, number 5 would have to be Mike Dunn out of Chicago. House
Okay.
music DJ. I started on house music, actually. I really didn't get into hip hop until I probably, later on in high school. I was
Right.
really on like house music and R&B. Because that's Chicago sound, house music. So number
Gotcha.
5 is definitely Mike Dunn. Would love to see him in person doing his thing. Number 4. DJ Kemet out of Atlanta. Definitely
Okay.
number 4.
Right.
Kemet is just I kind of fashion some of the stuff I do after Kemet as far as playing rare records and just playing grooving records. Like I've seen heard Kemet play like a Can Function song from '73, and people that wasn't even born then is dancing because of how he blended it in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So definitely that. Number 3. Whew, Kid Capri.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one.
To me, Kid Capri is the all-around DJ because not only does he produce and make music, but he also is just a wealth of knowledge. When you listen to his sets, yes, they're jamming and party rocking, but if you're a music nerd sort of like me and listen to his sets,
right,
he tells a story and it's so soulful. I just be like, man, it just raises you up for me. It just does something to me.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Number 2 is JC out of Atlanta.
JC. Okay.
JC. I've never seen somebody as dedicated to anything as he. I promise you right now, you could go on social media and look up JC, and he's probably on live DJing right now.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not talking about doing a broadcast where he's really talking to you, because he does that on Twitch too. But he might just he'll set the camera up in his studio and just be practicing.
And just gotcha.
For hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, that company me and you used to work at?
Right.
On lunch break, I used to pull up my phone because I knew JC was on Facebook.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean,
constantly. So he's that dedicated to the crowd.
Yes,
that
man.
dedicated.
And he's an incredible DJ. As a matter of fact, with Vinyl and Vibe several years ago when he turned 50, we did his birthday party.
Okay.
And we packed it out, man, because I just felt like he needed his flowers, because JC, he's not really I don't want to say he's not outgoing, but he's just not,
he's not into that.
Yeah, he ain't no super social dude.
Right.
But this guy's, I mean, DJing capabilities is off the chart. I'll put it to you like this. JC made a remix song of Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? And Jazzy Jeff played it on his Twitch broadcast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, JC is that dude when it comes to DJing. Like, JC comes to the club that I DJ at on the weekends sometimes. And when he comes in there, I've been DJing well over 20 years, Dwayne. When JC comes in there, he daps me up and he'll stand next to me while I'm DJing. I feel nervous as hell, like I'm taking the fucking SAT, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like
that much reverence for him. Like,
yes,
man,
man.
like I'm standing next to the GOAT. You know what I'm
Yes, man.
saying?
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
I
It's
get it.
like
I get it.
yeah.
I get it.
Number one is definitely Jazzy Jeff, without question,
Okay, when
hands
you said
down.
Kid Capri, I was like, because you said Kid Capri being an all-around DJ. In the back of
Right.
my head, I was like, Jazzy Jeff. I was thinking that.
Yeah,
I was like,
Jazzy
I was
Jeff is
gonna let
number
you
one.
get it out and see what
Yeah,
you were gonna say, but you did go there. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Jazzy Jeff.
yeah.
I put it like this: Jazzy Jeff is 1A, 1B would be Cash Money. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay,
Jazzy Jeff, I mean, period, bro.
yeah. I used to. What is it? The Magnificent series. I
Yep,
listened to
yep,
that and heard that, and
yep.
yeah, his blends are impeccable, man. You
Man,
can't. Yeah,
he came here. He came here to do a set and over there off of North Avenue. He came over here at 529 North, and I got to go. And I
hmm
remember at the end, I wanted to take a picture with him so bad. And shout out to Keela, man. Keela had set that up because she seen me down there, and she was just like, because mind you, for JC's birthday, I had got in contact with Jeff's manager, like, yo, can Jeff just do a little quick video shout out saying happy birthday to JC? And he was so cool to do it and sent it directly to me. And then so
right,
Keela was like, yo, Jeff, she was up there with him, like, that's Johnny right there. That's the guy you sent the birthday shout out to for JC. He was like, yo, come up here and take a picture with me. And right now, I
right,
got a picture that my wife took of us on my cell phone. I blew
right,
that joint up. It's like I blew it up to a poster, bro.
right.
And I mean, if you look at the picture, it's me standing there, like, you know, I'm like almost crying and standing next to him, like, oh, this is Jazzy Jeff. It's crazy, man. Jazzy Jeff is number one forever, forever, ever, ever.
Okay, man. Here, man, you got one hell of a story, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
have you thought of? I mean, I'm an idea. Things just
Right.
pop up in my head, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, documenting this, man. Hey, bring the camera out everywhere you go, cause you got a story. That
Bro,
this whole process.
yeah, man. I've, you know, it's funny because I've dreamed about that. I dreamed about doing a movie. I've dreamed
Right,
about writing it out. I've dreamed about. I've always wanted to do something where I had somebody like film a day in the life of a DJ, like especially on the day where I got like 2 gigs back to back. Like for instance, last Friday I had to get up and go get my stuff together and go do Rocksteady, and then right after Rocksteady, I went to I Lounge and rocked I Lounge. Got off at 3:00 in the morning, came home, and then
right,
came home, chill for a little bit with the family, and then get right back up and go rock I Lounge again that night. I would love to have a cameraman that would have the time to just dedicate a weekend to do that, because I
right,
think a lot of people then would understand what goes into it. Yes, a lot of fun. Yes, a
right,
lot of it's a lot, it's cool and everything, but it's also a lot of work. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
right.
you
Especially
know,
you got real life going on at the same
yeah,
time.
I mean, you hear my real life. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You hear
right,
my real life. But you know what I'm saying? Even outside of that, like people don't get, like, you know, the programming that goes into it. Like, you know, to be, you know, I'm blessed to have had a residency or still have a residency at Islands. I've had that residency for over 15 years
hmm
at that same club, you
Who
know,
can say
and
that?
not a lot of people can say that.
That's what I'm saying. Who can say that?
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people, it's a lot of clubs that can't say they've been open that long. But you
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? It's a lot of programming that goes into it. Do I practice as much as I should? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. No, I don't. But I will say this: I'm always listening to music. I'm always having ideas. I'm always going with it. You know what I'm saying? Just like the t-shirts, like you got to appreciate that,
Right.
brother. You know what I'm saying? That was another
Yes,
idea.
sir.
Like I was like, yo, I want to start putting my stuff out on t-shirts, but I would love to document the life of a DJ, or just document a day in the life of me.
Right.
You know, just so people can see it, not to be on no like, oh, you know, this is the celebrity. No, to be like, yo, you get a real. I want you to see when I wake up in the morning, I'm tired as hell, and I got to change the diaper. At the same
Right.
time, I'm changing the diaper, I got headphones on, listening to what the top 10 rap songs is for the week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
While my wife laying here sleep, so I got it on low. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm doing that, and then also zailing my daughter that's in college $100 because she don't got no more money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know what? We putting it out here. This
Let's
is
get it. Let's get it.
somebody gonna watch this and be like, hey, they gonna hook it up, and it's
Yeah,
gonna.
hit
I
me
can't
up,
wait to
man.
see it.
Hit me up, because I'm an open book when it comes to that, man. Hit me up. Hit me
I
up.
got you.
Yes.
Hey, well, John. Hey, man. I like to say thank you for accepting the invitation and coming on, man. You've given me a different point of view of the lifestyle of a DJ, and also, man, I can. All right, so the thing about me is when I speak to people or whatever, I can feel their passion for it, and this whole conversation, man, I can just this whole conversation, I can feel your passion for the craft,
Right.
your dedication. You put a lot into it, and you're still grinding it out. And like I said, I've been to like the Vinyl and Vibes event, and I see the passion that the other DJs have, because like I said, you got newbies, you got the old time, I ain't gonna say old timers, but the older DJs, and the meshing of both generations, and just trying to keep the culture going. And I like to say I appreciate you for that, because you know it ain't a lot of that going on as far as like trying to keep everything going and blending the two generations together and just trying to help everybody out. So thank you for that. And once again, everybody out there, thank you for joining in to I Feel You the podcast with DJ Johnnie Dynamite. And if you want to, you can go back and give your social media handles again.
Sure.
And,
So the best way to reach me or to see what's going on with me is definitely through Instagram. I do have, the repost thing that goes to Facebook, but Instagram is probably best. It's me, ITS_Dynamite, DYNAMITE FM. I usually post everything that's going on with me there. You can also, like Dwayne was saying, my YouTube channel, Johnnie Dynamite, I usually post sometimes there. It just depends on if I get a block or not due to music copyright.
right.
But yeah, it's _Dynamite FM is probably your best bet to see what's going on with me. That's normally where everything is, man. That's where everything is. Whether it's Dining and Crates, Vinyl and Vibes, whether it's a club date, or whether if I happen to do one music fest, or any other things that's going on, I usually post it there in advance.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, John, for joining in. And everybody out there, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. All right.
Man, I appreciate you, Dwayne, brother. Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome to I Feel You the podcast with your host, Dwayne Washington. I was born and raised with my family, my mom, my daddy Ronnie, my other daddy Dwayne, and my brother Quincy. I grew up in the 90s and 2000s surrounded by nothing but friends and family in the tight-knit community of Cartersville, Georgia. After graduation, I attended Savannah State University, where I loved to party and experiment with a lot of drugs. I was even homeless for a point in time in my life. But that was then, and this is now. I'm growing and evolving into a better person each and every day. And with that, I would like to say welcome to season 2 of I Feel You the podcast.